Hello everyone, and welcome to the Rabe Creations podcast. My name's Nicole, and I'm coming to you from Calgary, Alberta, here in Canada, where I live with my husband Barry and my beautiful, wonderful, rescued Rottweiler named Grace. Today's episode is all about crochet. If you are here for a floss tube episode, I'm sorry, that will be next week. And I do have to apologize to everybody that I am a week behind in my recording schedule. But that being said, I have all kinds of crochet finishes to show you today. So, maybe it was a good thing that I took a week away from recording and just concentrated on making. So, what have we got to talk about today? So many things. I'll start out with a whole bunch of finishes, and then we can move into a little bit of haul. And finally, at the very end, I will be doing a bit of a life update, because life has been really tough the past couple of weeks. For obvious reasons that I think everyone is aware of, and for some more personal reasons as well. But I'll get into that at the end, so that if you are only here for the crocheting, you are more than welcome to skip over the life update. But if you are here and you would like to know what's been going on, by all means, stick around till the very end. All right, so first off, I have to say that the weather is beautiful today. It is sunshiny, sort of a little bit of clouds in the sky, but for the most part, there's beautiful sun shining out there. The birds are chirping, but it is getting warm, so the window is open. I can hear the neighborhood children playing / screaming outside, so you will probably be able to hear some of that. And I apologize if it is distracting to you. But it will get very hot in here if I close that window. So please bear with the background noises as we get into some crochet goodness. So, oh my goodness, all of the things. Interestingly enough, it's not all about Hazel this week. So anybody who is new here, first of all, welcome. If you've been around for a while, you know that I will be welcoming, that's the word, welcoming my first grandchild into this world on, the due date is September 4th, but we'll, play around a little bit with that. You know how that goes. And we do know that it's a girl, and her name is Hazel. So we are all very, very excited, highly anticipating Hazel's arrival. So understandably, a lot of my crafting has been Hazel focused lately, but I did find in this past week especially that I was just in need of some, I don't want to say mindless crochet, but that's kind of what it is. Just something tried and true that I could just get my hook into and just create. So I will first off get into showing you the finishes that I'm going to show you this week, and so let's get right into it. All right, here we go. So first off, the first thing I'm going to show you is a Hazel piece. Now, I did show this to you last week last crochet podcast as a work in progress, and it is obviously a mermaid tail, a mermaid snuggle sack. It is worked up in, I believe this is a Red Heart Super Saver in the colorway Monet. And then the banding at the top and the fin at the bottom is just an Impeccable yarn. Did not have its ball band when I used it, so I am not 100% sure what the colorway was, but it's purple. So the pattern that I followed, loosely followed, is a tutorial by Nadia from Yarnutopia on YouTube. And then I modified slightly the top. I have a much bigger waist, much taller waistband than Nadia did on hers. And I modified how the tail goes on. But for the most part, it is following her tutorial. I will link that below in case you are interested. One of the things I am really looking forward to once Hazel has arrived is doing a newborn photo shoot. My daughter-in-law, her sister, is also into photography, so I talked to her, and yes, once Hazel has made her arrival, we are planning to do a newborn photo shoot. So I'm really, really excited to be able to use some of the crochet pieces that I have created for Hazel in that photo shoot. All right, so the other thing that I made that was sort of Hazel inspired, although I don't think I am giving this to the parents. I think this is going to stay and be a blanket at Grandma's house, is this cotton baby blanket. It is a sampler type blanket with different stitches. Now, I used to do a lot of these blankets. These are some of my favorite blankets to stitch up. I haven't done one for a while, so it was a nice revisit of something that I enjoy to do. So it starts out with a I believe that is half double crochet, and then it moves into a double crochet. Then we have some, I believe those are called Catherine's wheels stitch. We have some bobble stitches. We have some shell stitches. We have some V stitches and some clusters. We have some star stitching. We have, and it just repeats. It reminded me. And one of the things I think inspired me for this one was Debbie over at Canadian Crocheter was doing a Just Fudge It shawl, sort of make along, and this sort of is in that spirit. Now it's not a shawl, and there is a pattern. This is actually a pattern that I've worked from in the past. It was based on a blanket tutorial / pattern by Wooly Wonders Crochet that I then modified and made my own. I will never release the pattern because it is based on someone else's pattern, but I wrote out what I wanted to do with the pattern, and that is what this is. So yeah, I really like this one. It is cotton. Now the cotton that I used on this is kind of a funny story. One of the things that I've been doing is trying to go through all of my old, works in progress and, frog it or decide to continue to work on it. And in one of my project bags that I haven't looked in a really long time, there were 4 balls of Carron Cotton Cakes, but it was the very first year of Carron Cotton Cakes. So they weren't the big round cakes. They were smaller. I believe one is called Boho Floral, one of the colorways, and the other one, I can't remember, and I don't know that I still have the ball bands. But needless to say, it was like 3-year-old yarn. That has just been sitting in this project bag with a half-completed project. So I have decided to use the half-completed project for something else, and I'll show you that another time. And I used the skeins that were left over to create this blanket. Now, I did have to fill in just a little bit because I wasn't going to have quite enough yarn. With a Carron Cotton Cake from last year. I believe it's called Nested Blue is the colorway, and that is here. This gray and blue stripes here, that is that other cake. But all of these fun colors, the purples and the blues and the greens and the yellows and the pinks. I just love it, and I still love it. Now, I did notice at Michael's last time I was there that this year's this spring-summer release of cotton cakes, there is one that reminds me of these colorways, and I hope to be able to pick some of that up soon. Oh, of course, now somebody's going to start using their weed whacker outside just because I am recording. Oh, Lord, I may have to close this window. One moment, please. Now, you can likely still hear the weed whacker going in the neighbor's yard, but hopefully it's not quite as loud as it was with the window open. All right, so moving on from the hazel-inspired makes, I also started doing up some more product for this year's fall and winter markets that I hope will still be a go, and that I'm planning to participate in. So first off, I created a couple of hats. This is a hat, the tutorial I will link down below, and it is just a YouTube tutorial. Sometimes when I'm looking for something that I just want to crochet some projects, and I want them to be quick. I want to finish quickly. I want that feeling that you get, that gratification of a completed project. So lots of times the easiest way for me to go about that is to just search through YouTube tutorials and find a tutorial I like. So I chose to do this hat, and I will link the tutorial down below. It is a cluster stitch beanie or toque, depending on where you are. It's worked from the bottom up, so you work the band, you attach the band, and then you work up from there. Super well done tutorial with lots of explanations. Now, you may see a string hanging down here. That is because I am planning to do poms on the tops of these hats. So that is the string that I will be sewing the pom-pom on with. I just don't have the pom-poms yet. So I will have to order some pom-poms in. Last year I ordered a order of pom-poms off of Amazon, and yeah, was very pleased. So I think I will go back to that supplier if they are still there. So there is one hat, and here is the second. Now this is actually all out of the same ball of yarn. So it is a cake, and it is called a Mandela tweed stripes. I will show you the cakes in a moment with my haul, but the cake started in this sort of gray and purple color, then moved into the gray, solid gray, then sort of this burgundy gray, a burgundy and white, and that's moved into the red and white, which was the bottom of this hat, and then up through the skein. So this is the second hat, same pattern. I really like this pattern. I think it is pretty, yeah, and it was quick to work up, mindless, mindful, however you want to say it. It allowed me to just, burn on through and get some hats done and have that sense of accomplishment. And again, the string is here because I need to get palms for the tops of those. Then out of that same skein of yarn, I had leftovers, so I kept going, and I have made a headband. And this is based on a dabbling hook. Laurel over at the Dabbling Hook, she has some wonderful patterns. And this is one of her patterns. I believe it's called the Shirelle. I can't remember. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry, Rel. I will link the pattern link down below. It is available in her Etsy shop. It is a quick PDF download, and yeah, I really like it. Now, the pattern itself is worked up in a bulky yarn or holding two skeins or two strands together, and I just did modified the counts a little bit and just did it with a single skein, or a single ply. So it is not as thick as some of the headbands I have made with that pattern, but I really do like how it turned out. And then I still had more left over, so I did a drink sleeve. I have shown these before. This is my own pattern. It's finished off with a button, and I am, yes, still planning to do this as a video tutorial. Just still trying to work out the camera aspect of that, because that, yeah, whole new world. But yeah, so I was able to get a drink sleeve out of that as well, and still had a little bit, a small ball left over that's gone into my scrap box for my granny square blanket. That is still being worked on in the background. So all of those came out of a single skein of yarn. That is fantastic, considering the skein itself was only, what, less than $4. I believe it was $3.97 on clearance. So can't beat that for being able to bulk up on my offerings for my fall and winter markets. And then I kept going, started another skein of yarn, and it is a Loops and Threads Colors, it's called. And this is the next hat I did. Now, as you can see, it is a messy bun hat or a ponytail hat. I really like these. These tend to sell quite well at my markets. They're not a constant seller, but I like to have a variety of these because people do request them. I am one of those people. For the most part, the only type of toque or beanie that will stay on my head is a messy bun or a ponytail hat. I don't know whether it's because I have so much hair or what, but hats just sort of plop back up off my head. Maybe it's my head shape. Maybe I have a cone head. I don't know. But hats don't stay on my head. So these ones really do work with the ponytail out the top. So I always have a variety of ponytail hats. This one is a worked with a simple cable pattern all the way around. And I will link the tutorial for this one as well. I do apologize. I didn't grab all the names of these. Yeah, professional podcaster going on here, but I will link everything below. So if you are interested, just check below in the description, and I will link down below what I have talked about. So that is it for my makes. I think I have done a lot. I've gotten a lot accomplished and have been able to, make some things for my new grandbaby, as well as starting to stock up product for those fall and winter markets. All right, so I'm going to step away briefly, and when I come back, we will talk about a little bit of haul that I have done. Yay for clearance at Michael's. And I'm back. So today's beverage of choice, ooh, doesn't that sound refreshing, is bubbly sparkling water in the blackberry flavor. It is really, really tasty. I think I've had almost all of the flavors now, and the blackberry is one of my favorites, I have to say. All right, into some haul. So, as I believe I mentioned on my last podcast, Michael's is having some amazing clearance. And in my Michael's store, it is the best selection of Michael's clearance that I've had in a long time. And, maybe we can blame / thank COVID for that, because people weren't able to go into the stores and shop. And I know I've said it before, but I will say it again. Michael's online web pages for ordering are, sorry, crap. When you go online before you go to the store to see what they've got, and everything is out of stock, but when you get to the store, it's all there. So, I think a lot of people might have ordered more of this if it had actually been listed appropriately on their webpage, but I digress, because the store is now open and I can go in and get what I need. So the clearance selection is amazing right now. And I will show you a variety of the things that I purchased. Now, I'm not pulling it all over. I am just bringing one of each thing over so that I can share it with you. So first of all, I did talk a little bit about this in my finished products, and this is yarn from Loops and Threads, and it is called just Colors. It is Very, very soft. It is, let me see here, a medium number 4. It's 100% acrylic, and is using a size 4mm US H hook. It is saying machine wash cold, gentle, do not bleach, dry flat, do not iron. It says that you can dry clean it. Now, this has been really interesting to work with. It does remind me a little bit of a single ply. It has that structure of a single ply, which I really, really like. So I have really enjoyed working with this yarn. It does have a nice halo. I don't know if you can see that, but it does have a really good halo. Now, halo is nice, in my opinion, because it gives it that soft look. So it feels soft, it looks soft, but it does make it usually a little more challenging if you have to frog it. And this does sort of follow in that, in what you would expect with it being a little more challenging to frog with. But I really like the stitch definition that you get from this yarn. Nice crisp stitch definition, and I find that's true of most single plied yarns, and I think that's why I like them so much. So I have this one, which is the color is called Wine Knot, and then this one, and the colorway on this one is Coffee and Cream. Not sure why that would be Coffee and Cream, because wow, that's really black coffee. To me, coffee and cream should be browns and white, and sort of that whitish color, not necessarily black and white. This should be newsprint. I should be naming these. But anyway, this is called Coffee and Cream, and this one is called Wine Knot. Very nice. Well worth it. And both of these, I believe, were $3.97 a piece. In fact, all of the ones I'm showing you today were $3.97 a skein. And I have picked up, let me think, 2 of these ones and 2 of these ones. So then they did have some of last year's Carron Latte cakes. One of my favorites. They did have a few skeins of last year's colorways. And I picked up, I believe, 2 of these. And this is the roasted tomato colorway. So all of these I picked up with the intention of being able to use them for my markets. If you have been with me for a while, you know that my theme for markets this winter is going to be sort of that cozy cottage, cozy cabin, sort of that black and white and red colorways, which makes sense for all of these, right? So really looking at keeping that unified colorway in my products for these markets. But anyway, I love latte cakes, and I have talked about them many, many times in the past. I love the fact that they are sort of almost have that eyelashy yarn look, but I find them super, super easy to work with, super easy to frog. They don't tangle up on each other. They frog out like no one's business, and they just create product that is so soft and luxurious, and I love it. So that is Carron Latte Cakes in the roasted tomato. And just in case you are not familiar, I'm sure you are, because these have been around for a while now. It is considered a bulky 5. I disagree. I treat it as a number 4. It is 58% acrylic and 42% nylon. It is machine washable and dryable. Yeah, and I tend to create cowls and bandana type neckerchiefs type things. Sort of that triangle shaped scarf that you can wrap around your neck. That's kind of what I create with these for my markets. And they've sold like hotcakes the past couple of years. So definitely a hot seller. And these were $3.47. Considering that they're normally like $12 a skein here in Canada, I thought that was an amazing deal. And I am able to get one of the bandana scarves out of a skein. So again, really good values. So then we can move on to the Mandela Tweed Stripes by Lion Brand Yarns. And these again were $3.47 or $3.49 a cake. And I got, I believe, 4 of these in total. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, 4 of these in total. They are 100% acrylic. They are really, really soft. Now, I saw these cakes in Michael's when they were full price, and I was interested in them, but I wasn't sure how they would work up, and they weren't inexpensive, let's put it that way, for a experiment. Now that I have picked up some and have been using them, I really, really do like these. The colorway is called, did I say that already? I don't think I did. It's called Shooting Star, and it's kind of, again, the grays, the whites, the reds, has a little bit of a purple tint to it, a little bit of burgundy to it, but I think it'll work out very nicely with my product for the markets. I really enjoyed working with this. It is listed as a 4 weight, which I agree with completely. Really easy to work with. It frogs out really well. And I like how the colorways work up. It's tweedy, so it's got the 2 different color, almost like a barber pole stripe, to the yarn. It does have rather abrupt color changes. So even though there is sort of that gray color that goes through pretty well the whole skein, it still has the abrupt color changes. So I know it's not going to be everybody's favorite, but I do like how this colorway is working up. There were a variety of colorways, but this is the one that really suited my needs. And last but not least, I picked up some Lion Brand Feels Like Butter. And that's how it's written, so that's how I'm going to say it. Feels like butter. Now this is a bit of a story. So there was one color of this Feels Like Butter that I guess is supposed to be on clearance, and the rest is just on sale. This was one of the sale colors, but there was probably 5 or 6 skeins of this exact color in the clearance area with the color that was clearance. And I wanted this color. So I picked it up, and when I went to the cash, of course, it rang through at the sale price, not at the clearance price. So I believe it was an extra $5. And I questioned because I found it in clearance, and the cashier said, oh, well, you know, that's our Feels Like Butter, and it is, you know, that's the price. And I said, well, you know, that's fine. I just won't take it. So just take it off the bill. But know that you need to get somebody over into your clearance yarn because there's a whole bunch of it in there. And right away she said, oh, no, we'll just price adjust that for you. So the cashier was very gracious, and she price adjusted this skein and then sent somebody off to correct the situation. Now, as somebody who has worked for years and years in customer service, I did really appreciate that. And yeah, it was handled extremely well by the young lady at the till. So, you know, that was fantastic. It is really, really soft. Now this I did not buy for markets. This I bought for Hazel. So I will be making Hazel a little something, something. Not sure what yet, but a little something, something out of this yarn. And it really is super, super soft. But not in a... This is going to sound horrible, and I don't want it to. So let's go through what it is first. So it is a medium weight, and I would have to say from looking at it that that's probably fairly accurate. It is machine washable and dryable, and it's 100% polyester. The colorway is Sage. I really like this color. Now, when I said it's really, really soft, which it should be because it feels like butter, it's a different type of softness than this yarn, though. This yarn definitely has that acrylic-y feel, and this one almost feels more like a cotton blend, even though I know it's 100% polyester. So very different feel between a polyester and an acrylic yarn. Haven't quite decided what I'm making for Hazel in that yarn yet, but yeah, there will be something made for my grandbaby out of that beautiful sage yarn. So that is it for my acquisitions. Currently, I am still trying, believe it or not, to work through some of the yarn in my yarn stash, which is always exciting. It's nice to get some of those the pieces out of the wall and turned into something. Yeah, so that is that. I do have a few works in progress, but I'm just going to hold off and show them to you as they are finished. All right, I am going to take a brief pause, and then when I get back, it's time for a little bit of life update. So if that is not something that you are interested in, then by all means, feel free to sign off now. It's been nice catching up with you. Thank you so much for coming back. Make sure you hit that like button if you haven't subscribed yet and you like what you saw here today. Please hit the subscribe button. Alrighty. Yeah, so let's get into it. All right, so a few updates on what's been going on in my world. So first of all, my Etsy shop. I have sold quite a bit of fabric, Ada fabrics, so for cross stitching. I've been hand dyeing some of that, and that is selling quite nicely out of the Etsy shop. As well as a couple of patterns. Some crochet patterns have gone, some of my yarn has gone. So thank you to everyone. I sold a couple of project bags. So thank you to everyone who has been supporting my Etsy shop endeavors. It is much appreciated now more than ever. Those of you who have been around for a little while know that last August, at the end of last August, I left my job. I was working at a local bookstore, and I had to walk away from that due to an ongoing knee issue. I am waiting for a knee replacement surgery. And of course, with the COVID-19 shutting everything down and postponing all elective surgeries, and the wait time has now extended, and yeah, tales of woe. So I've been putting more of my focus on my crochet business, on my cross stitching, on my pattern designing for both crochet and cross stitch, and trying to, generate a little bit of extra income. But my husband remained employed, and we were making it. Things were getting a little tight, but we were making it. And then last week, when I was just about to record, and it's probably the main reason I didn't record last week, my husband got laid off. So COVID-19, economic downturn, all of that stuff. So we're in a little, it sucks. Life sucks. Yeah, it's a little bit scary right now. I have put out a bazillion resumes over the past almost year now, and I've had one callback. So the job market is extremely tight here. Now, thank goodness my husband is a he's specialized in what he does. He is a draftsman. He works on designing in structural steel. He used to work in the steel shops, but injury caused him to have to step into the office, and so he is highly employable. It's just a really tough time right now, as it is everywhere for in the job markets. Hopefully all of this is going to turn around very quickly. They've called this a temporary layoff, a 60-day layoff, but even that is extremely scary considering we are now a no-income household. And yeah, a little panicked, but this too shall pass. We've been through situations like this before, and we always come out on the right side, and I'm sure that's going to happen again. Please send all of your positive thoughts my way, or at least a portion of them, because you can send positive thoughts to other people too. Coupling that with the fact that we've lost a few family members over the past couple of weeks, over in Europe. My cousin lost his wife to cancer a week and a half ago, and my great uncle in Finland also passed about a week ago. My mom is distraught because she can't go back for any, to say in support of her family. It's my mom's family that's over there. But of course, with all of the international travel bans and the COVID-19, and she can't go back to support. And yeah, so we're dealing with all of that as well. Also, last week, when the same day that found out my husband got laid off, my daughter-in-law, the one who is pregnant with Hazel, had a bit of a heart situation, a heart rate that was racing. They couldn't bring it down. So she was in urgent care as well. So, wow, it was a tough week last week. Now, Hazel is fine. Dayton is fine. Everything is good there. Not quite sure what happened, but everything is good there. So, yay, positive news. Yeah, so that is my less than exciting life update for those who were interested. I think that's all I have for you today. If you've stuck around till the end, thank you so much. I do appreciate you so much for coming back week after week and seeing what I'm up to. I do appreciate you very much. In closing, as always, I encourage you to, stand side by side with the people around you. Let's use our community and our platforms, if you're a podcaster, to raise each other up, to always, always choose kindness. Be kind to yourself, be kind to each other, and the world will become a much better place. We'll talk to you soon. Bye now.